key of G flat major. Let's take a look at our key signature and see what notes we have in the scale. So G flat major has 6 flats, count them 6. By now you need to have memorized your circle of fifths of sharps and flats. A lot of times students tell me this is like so much to do, but I mean, do you know your phone number? Do you know one other phone number? 7 sharps, 7 flats. American phone number at least, 7 numbers. So if you can remember 2 phone numbers, you can remember the circle of fifths. So let's take a look at the flats in our G flat major scale. Starting from the first one, we have a B flat, an E flat, an A flat, a D flat, a G flat, and a C flat. So the second to last flat is the major key we're in, so B, E, A, D, G, and C. So that means we are in the key of G flat major. The important thing to note here is the C flat. C flat is an enharmonic equivalent of B. That's just a fancy way to say it's a different way to write the same pitch. It sounds the same. But anytime we're going to be playing this note, I will be referring to it as a C flat because this is how it is written in music. You want to become comfortable with these enharmonic equivalents and seeing them on the sheet music and making a direct correlation between the chord or the scale or whatever shape it may be that the composer is asking you to play. Eventually, it makes accidentals way less scary. So, hopefully you are ready now to move on to the tonic triad for the key of G flat major. Let's build our tonic triad in the key of G flat major. So, the first note is going to be G flat, and then we're going to stack our thirds. So a third above G flat would not be a B, but a B flat because of the key signature, and a third above that is not a D, but a D flat. So we have 3 black keys, G flat, B flat, and D flat. These 3 notes make up our tonic triad. Now we're going to try and playing these in their inversions, hand separate. So right hand first, G flat, B flat, and D flat, 1, 3, and 5. Now we are going to move the G flat at the bottom to the top of the chord, and we are going to play a 1, 2, and a 5 on a B flat, a D flat, and a G flat. Then we're going to move again, so the B flat now is at the top of the chord. We have a B flat, a G flat, and a D flat, 5, 3, and 1, and we are going to flip the chord one more time. Root position, G flat, B flat, D flat, 1, 3, and 5. Same thing going back down. So the D flat that's on the top goes to the bottom. So we have a D flat, a G flat, and a B flat. 1, 3, and 5. We're going to move it down again. So now the bottom note is a B flat. We have a D flat and a G flat. 1, 2, and 5. And then we flip it one more time. G flat, B flat, and D flat. Root position, tonic triad. Now the left hand. 5, 3, 1 on G flat, B flat, and D flat. Let's put our chord in first inversion. So we're going to go 5, 3, and 1 over B flat, D flat, and G flat. Now second inversion, the B flat goes to the top, the middle note is a G flat, and the bottom note is a D flat. 5, 2, and 1. And then we're going to flip it one more time. Root position, G flat, B flat, and D flat. 5, 3, and 1. Now we're going to go back down. So second inversion chord, the bottom note is now a D flat, next note is G flat, next note is B flat. 5, 2, and 1. Flip it one more time. We have a B flat, a D flat, and a G flat. 5, 3, and 1. And flip it one more time. 5, 3, and 1, G flat, B flat, and D flat. Before putting your hands together, make sure that you account for the smaller surface area of the black keys. I know it sounds kind of obvious, but the keys are smaller on the black keys than they are on the white keys. So you really have to make sure that your fingers are in an optimal position, and then when you move your hand from chord to chord, you don't have that kind of like move and then like fidget and then play. Instead we have that gentle movement, and if you keep your fingers curled, they present a much smaller target to the key, like this compared to like this, so naturally it's going to be easier to get the correct notes. Don't forget, take your time, go slow, but if you feel like you've got a handle on the concept, you are ready to try the two hands together with the metronome. Now let's build the primary chords in the key of G flat. We got a lot of flats, so be ready. The tonic triad we've already built, G flat, B flat, and D flat. Now we need to go to the fourth note of the scale to build our subdominant chord. So along the scale, G flat, A flat, B flat, and C flat. Remember, an harmonic equivalent of a B, but we are calling it C flat because of how the next notes in the chord are written. Because if you put a skip above a C on a staff, you have an E, but obviously it's an E flat because of our key signature, and the next skip above that is a G, which is a G flat. So we have C flat, E flat, and G flat. This is our subdominant chord. C flat, E flat, G flat. Now we're going to step up one more scale degree from C flat to get to our dominant, which is a C flat. So this is the root of our dominant triad, or 7 chord I should say, because it's a 4-note chord. So we have a D flat, next we have an F, next we have an A flat, and on top of the chord we have our C flat. D flat, F, A flat, C flat. These are the 4 notes in the dominant 7 in the key of G flat major. Now we're ready to play the progression. Alright, now let's play the progression. So our right hand is in a closed position. G flat, B flat, and D flat. 1, 3, and 5. Now we're going to keep our thumb anchored over G flat, but our hand opens up. So the third finger opens to C flat, which is a B, and then the fifth finger opens to an E flat. So we're going to play these 3 notes. This is our subdominant, and now we're going to move back to our tonic. G flat, B flat, and D flat. Now, we're going to shift our thumb off of our G flat down to F. Our fourth finger is already over C flat, and our fifth finger is already over D flat. We're going to play these 3 notes of our dominant 7 chord, and then we're going to move back to our tonic triad. G flat, B flat, and D flat. 1, 3, and 5. Let's put our left hand in that root position, tonic triad. So G flat, B flat, D flat, 5, 3, and 1. We are going to only move our thumb. So the thumb moves to E flat, your second finger is already over the C flat, and your fifth finger is already over the G flat. We're going to press these 3 down for our subdominant, and then we're going to move back to our G flat major chord. G flat, B flat, and D flat, 5, 3, and 1. Now, the pinky drops down to an F. Our second finger is already over C flat, and our thumb is already over our D flat. We're going to press these 3 down of our dominant 7 chord, and then we're going to move back to our tonic triad. G flat, B flat, and D flat. 5, 3, and 1. Before playing hands together, make sure that you are getting comfortable with the terrain of the key of G flat major. Every key feels different, every chord, every shape has its own sort of relationship between you and the keyboard. As you play this hand separate, make sure that you have good distance. Your hand isn't moving in and out, but you just have that nice little up and down with your wrist. If you feel like you've gotten good enough to try it hands together, You are ready to move on to the next exercise. Next, we are going to do our tonic triad arpeggio. We've already learned the three notes, G flat, B flat, and D flat, and now we just need to find our open hand position to play the arpeggio. Because this is all black keys, we actually play it in the same way that we do all of our white key arpeggio. So C major, C minor, E major, E minor. It's the same open hand shape of 1, 2, 3, and 5 in our right hand. So we have that open hand shape of 1, 2, 3, and 5 over G flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat. We're going to press down the first three notes. So G flat, B flat, and as I'm pressing the D flat, my thumb tucks underneath and then it lands on the G flat an octave above, and the hand opens up into the last three notes of the arpeggio. So my second finger is on B flat, my third finger is on D flat, and my pinky is on that G flat. Now I'm going back down. Keep the hand right where it's at. So my third finger plays that D flat, my second finger plays the B flat, and as my thumb is playing G flat, my third finger crosses over and it lands on D flat, and the last two notes slide into place. Second finger on B flat and thumb on G flat. Now the left hand. Let's find that open hand position, G flat, B flat, D flat, and G flat with a 5, 3, 2, and a 1. We're going to play each one of these notes. So pinky, G flat, third finger on the B flat, second finger on the D flat, and as our thumb is playing the G flat, we're going to cross over our third finger to B flat, and as we play that note, the hand turns into position, second finger on D flat, and thumb on G flat. Now we're going to go back down. So the second finger plays on D flat, the third finger plays on B flat. As this note is playing, my thumb tucks underneath and lands on G flat, and the hand opens up so that my second finger is over D flat, third finger is over B flat, and my pinky is over G flat. Take your time putting this hands together. As I said previously, with the tonic, triad, and inversions, the keys are a little bit smaller here because it's only black keys. So really feel a good balanced hand as you move from note to note, and that good firm fingertip position. If you can keep that and good wrist motion, it'll be easy to keep your fingers balanced over the keys. When you feel like you have a better handle on this concept, try it hands together with the metronome. This has been the key of G flat major. I sincerely hope you learned something good. Don't forget about those C flats, the enharmonic note. I remember the first time I learned the G flat major Schubert impromptu, and there were so many double flats and there were so many C flats from the key signature. I had a lot of trouble remembering. So learning the scale, learning these progressions on the arpeggio, all that good stuff is going to really help you when you come to those scary key signatures with 5, 6, or 7 flats. They're not going to be scary anymore, I promise. So keep practicing. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. I want to keep making as much content as possible for you guys. Check out the link to the shop below for some awesome merch. And as always, stay powerful, guys.